A 67-year-old man was found lifeless in his bedroom last spring. Heart stopped during intimacy. The cause, a hidden vascular issue no one warned him about, not even his doctors. His wife said it was the first time they'd been intimate in months. What was supposed to be a moment of reconnection ended in silence. I'm Dr. James. For over 30 years. Advice for the elderly. I've worked with aging men, veterans, husbands, grandfathers, helping them reclaim their health, their confidence, and yes, she must, their erections. I don't sell hype. I bring real medical solutions to real men. Here's what most men don't know. Your penis is the first place to warn you of a heart problem. Weak erections often mean weak blood flow. And not just down there. But the surprising part? The most effective treatment isn't a pill. It's movement. 5 simple exercises. Some don't even involve your groin. If you do these 5 routines just a few minutes a day, you'll not only feel more firm and in control, you may also protect your heart, your marriage, and your dignity. And stick around, because the last exercise I'll show you is the same one I prescribe to post-surgery patients to bring their erections back, without medication. Let's begin. Before we begin, take a second to subscribe and tap the bell icon. That way, you'll never miss another life-changing tip designed specifically for men like you. And if this message speaks to you, type 1 in the comments. If not, type ZO. Your feedback helps me serve you better. Now let's get into the first exercise. Simple, discreet, and surprisingly powerful. It targets a set of muscles most men don't even know they have, yet they play a critical role in achieving and maintaining strong, lasting erections. These are your pelvic floor muscles. 1. Kegel exercises, pelvic floor activation. Most men associate strength with biceps or chest muscles, but when it comes to sexual performance, erection firmness, ejaculation control, even bladder function, the real powerhouse is hidden deep inside your pelvis. These are your pelvic floor muscles. And Kegel exercises, named after Dr. Arnold Kegel, are the single most effective way to strengthen them. Now let me be clear, this isn't some internet trend or gimmick. Kegel exercises have been studied in clinical settings for decades. They're prescribed for men recovering from prostate surgery, men with erectile dysfunction, and even elite athletes looking for core control. Why? Because these tiny, overlooked muscles form the foundation of male sexual function. When the pelvic floor muscles are weak, blood doesn't stay trapped in the penis during an erection. That means erections lose firmness, don't last, or don't even happen at all. When those muscles are strong, they grip like a healthy valve, holding the blood in, letting you stay harder, longer. Strong pelvic muscles also give you more control over climax, which is especially important as we age. The best part? You can do Kegels anytime, anywhere. Standing in line, watching TV, even lying in bed. No equipment, no embarrassment, just a commitment to consistency. Here's how to start. First, you need to locate the right muscles. The easiest way is while you're urinating. Try stopping the flow midstream. The muscles you use to do that subtle lift deep inside, those are the pelvic floor muscles. Once you can isolate them, you're ready to begin the real training. Start with a basic routine. Contract those muscles and hold the squeeze for 5 seconds. Then, relax completely for 5 seconds. That's 1 rep. Do 10 reps in a row. Rest. Then, repeat the whole set 2 more times. Aim for 3 sets a day. Morning, afternoon, and evening. It may feel strange at first. Some men say they can only hold the contraction for 2 or 3 seconds. That's perfectly normal. Like any muscle, it gets stronger with practice. Within a week or two, you'll notice you can hold longer, squeeze tighter. And within 3 to 6 weeks, many men begin noticing firmer erections, more control, and better sensation during intimacy. Now here's something even more powerful. Combine your Kegels with focused breathing. Inhale through your nose as you squeeze. Exhale through your mouth as you release. This not only activates the nervous system pathways linked to arousal, but it also helps reduce anxiety, one of the biggest silent killers of male sexual performance. Let's also address a common mistake. Some men accidentally squeeze their thighs, buttocks, or abdominal muscles instead. If you're tensing your stomach or holding your breath, back off. Kegels are subtle. Precision matters more than intensity. Think of it like dialing a safe. You don't want to force the wheel. You want to feel the right click. Over time, as you build strength, you can increase the hold time to 10 seconds, then 15. You can even add quick pulses, squeezing and releasing rapidly, to train endurance and reaction time. These variations mimic the contractions that happen naturally during climax, helping you regain that rhythmic power you may have lost. But here's what truly sets Kegels apart. They give you back control, not just of your body, but of your confidence, of how you feel in the bedroom, of how you show up as a man, even outside of intimacy. There's nothing more empowering than knowing your performance is in your hands, literally. And if you stick with it, if you give it just a few minutes each day, you may begin to feel younger, not just sexually, but energetically, like you've rewound the clock without ever touching a prescription bottle. Now that's just the beginning, because while Kegels strengthen the foundation, the next technique we're about to explore actually forces blood into the penis, without any pills and without even being aroused. It's a simple mechanical method that men recovering from prostate surgery have used to bring back erections when nothing else worked. Ready to find out what it is? Let's continue. 2. Vacuum therapy, penile pump. Vacuum therapy use. Imagine this, a simple device that can help restore blood flow to the penis without pills, without surgery, and without any need for arousal. It sounds almost too good to be true, but vacuum therapy, also known as penile pump therapy, has helped thousands of men, especially those over 60, regain natural erections even after years of difficulty. And the best part is, it works by doing exactly what your body needs, moving blood into the right place at the right time. Here's how it works. A penile pump is a cylinder-shaped device that fits over the penis. Once it's in place, either manually or automatically, it creates gentle, negative pressure, essentially a vacuum. This vacuum draws blood into the penile tissues, expanding the chambers and triggering an erection. This isn't magic, and it's not a shortcut. It's pure physiology. Just as your heart pumps blood through arteries, the vacuum pump helps redirect that blood flow exactly where it needs to go. But this isn't just about getting an erection. When used regularly, this therapy becomes a kind of physical rehab for the penis. Just like physical therapy after a knee surgery helps restore movement and function, vacuum therapy helps keep penile tissues healthy, oxygenated, and active, especially important as you age and circulation naturally declines. In fact, men who've undergone prostate surgery or dealt with long-term erectile dysfunction often use this technique to retrain their body's natural response. To use it safely, you simply place the penis inside the chamber Press it gently against the body to form a seal and activate the pump. As blood enters, you'll notice the penis becoming more engorged. This usually takes just a minute or two. Once the erection forms, some men use a soft constriction ring at the base to help maintain it temporarily. The ring should never be left on for more than 30 minutes, and you should always remove it carefully. Start slow in the beginning. Limit your sessions to 10 or 15 minutes, 2 to 3 times a week. As your comfort and tolerance improve, you may increase frequency to daily use if needed, though always staying within safe time limits. The key here is gentle consistency, not force. The pressure should feel like a firm tug, never pain. If it hurts, stop and adjust. This is a tool, not a test of toughness. Now let's talk about safety. Too many men skip over this part and end up hurting themselves. Never use a pump without proper instruction. I strongly advise speaking to a doctor or physical therapist trained in male pelvic health before using any vacuum device, especially if you're purchasing one online. Automatic models are easier to use, but regardless of the type, make sure it's medical grade and approved for sexual health purposes. Cheap knockoffs can cause bruising, tissue damage, or even long-term complications. What many men don't realize is that vacuum therapy isn't only for men with dysfunction. It's for prevention too. By regularly bringing oxygen-rich blood into the penile tissue, you're helping maintain elasticity, responsiveness, and nerve activity. It's like doing cardio for your most vital organ. Because yes, your penis is an organ that depends on circulation, just like your brain or heart. In my years of practice, I've seen men who had no erections for months begin to regain morning wood and spontaneous arousal after just a few weeks of consistent vacuum therapy. Some even combine it with medications like tadalafil for enhanced results, but that's something you should only do under medical supervision. The psychological benefits are just as real. When a man sees his penis become erect again, especially after years of disappointment, something changes. Confidence returns. Hope comes back. Relationships begin to heal. And the man who once felt defeated starts to feel alive again. This is not about vanity, it's about function, dignity, and reclaiming control over your body. Because when you feel in control, everything else starts to fall into place. But we're not done yet. In fact, the next method is even less known, but incredibly effective. It doesn't involve pumping or squeezing. It's a passive technique that works quietly over time to not only improve erections, but actually increase size and length for many men. Curious? You should be. Let's keep going. 3. Penile extender. Most men have never even heard of a penile extender, and if they have, they often assume it's a gimmick or something found in late-night TV ads. But the truth is, this device has quietly become one of the most trusted tools in the clinical rehabilitation of erectile function. And yes, in many cases, it can also lead to noticeable increases in penile length. Not overnight, and not without effort. But the results can be real, lasting, and meaningful. A penile extender is a medical device designed to apply gentle, consistent traction to the penis over time. It looks a little intimidating at first. Metal rods, adjustment points, tension springs, but its purpose is simple: to stretch the penile tissue safely and gradually. And when used correctly, it does something remarkable. It triggers a process called mechanotransduction, where the tissue responds to consistent stretching by growing new cells and expanding blood vessels. That means not just longer tissue, but healthier, better vascularized tissue. Why is this important? Because for many men, the core issue behind weak erections is poor blood flow. If the vessels inside the penis can't carry or hold enough blood, the erection suffers. The extender works slowly and passively to enhance vascular capacity. It improves the elasticity of the penile tissue, especially in men who may have experienced shrinkage or curvature due to age, injury, or conditions like Peyronie's disease. And here's the part that often surprises people. Penile extenders are widely used in Europe and increasingly recommended by urologists in the US, not for cosmetic reasons, but for functional ones. Men recovering from prostate surgery or long-term erectile dysfunction often use these devices as part of a rehabilitation protocol, right alongside pelvic floor therapy and medications. Using the device requires patience and consistency. Most protocols recommend wearing it for 1 to 2 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week, over a period of at least 3 to 6 months. 6 months. The traction should always be low and gentle at first, This isn't about forcing results. It's about inviting the body to adapt naturally and safely. What makes this method so unique is that it doesn't rely on stimulation or arousal. It works while you go about your day, watching television, reading, even working from home. Some newer models are lightweight and discreet enough to wear under loose-fitting clothes. Of course, it takes adjustment, and in the early days it's important to monitor for any discomfort. But for men who stick with it, the results can be deeply rewarding. There's another benefit too: psychological. Many men feel a loss of identity or confidence when their erections become less reliable or their size changes due to age or illness. Using a device that not only strengthens tissue but also potentially restores size can have a powerful emotional impact. It gives men back a sense of control. And with that comes confidence, not just in the bedroom, but in life. But just like with any medical tool, professional guidance is crucial. Never buy a cheap device from an unknown source. Poor quality extenders can cause injury, numbness, or scarring. Always choose a product recommended by a physician or specialist, and ideally one that's been clinically tested for safety and efficacy. So if you've been struggling with performance or noticing physical changes that make you feel less like yourself, know that you have options. This isn't about vanity, it's about function, confidence, and reclaiming a vital part of who you are. And while it may take time, the results are worth the commitment. Thousands of men have walked this path before you, and many have found not just recovery, but improvement beyond what they expected. Still, while the extender works passively, the next method we're going to explore is much more active, and it has nothing to do with your groin. In fact, it starts with your legs. This one movement boosts testosterone, increases blood circulation, and can even spark a natural erection response, all without a single pill or device. If that sounds impossible, just wait. You'll want to hear this. 4. Wall squats, whole body vascular boost. When it comes to improving erections, most men don't think of their legs. But what if I told you that the secret to stronger, longer-lasting erections might actually begin in your thighs? It sounds strange, but there's a powerful connection between your lower body and your sexual function. And it has everything to do with blood flow, hormone production, and vascular health. One of the most effective and accessible exercises to tap into this connection is something deceptively simple: the wall squat. Now, don't let the simplicity fool you. Wall squats are not just a leg exercise. They engage some of the largest muscle groups in the body, your quads, glutes, and hamstrings, all of which demand a significant amount of blood and oxygen when activated. And here's why that matters. When these major muscles are worked, your cardiovascular system is forced to step up. Your heart pumps harder, your arteries expand, and your blood vessels, including those that lead directly to the pelvic region, become more efficient. This increased demand triggers a cascade of benefits. One of the most important is the release of nitric oxide, a natural chemical that dilates blood vessels and plays a direct role in helping you get and maintain an erection. Without nitric oxide, erections simply can't happen. By stimulating its production naturally through exercise, you're laying the groundwork for stronger, more consistent performance in the bedroom. But that's not all. Regular leg exercises like wall squats also stimulate the release of testosterone, the very hormone that supports libido, energy, and overall vitality. As men age, testosterone naturally declines. While hormone replacement therapy is an option for some, the truth is that your body can still produce more of its own if you give it the right signal. Wall squats are one of those signals. When you activate large muscle groups and challenge your lower body, your brain responds by kicking hormone production back into gear. Performing a wall squat is straightforward, and you don't need a gym. Simply stand with your back flat against a wall, feet shoulder-width apart, and slowly slide down until your thighs are parallel to the ground, like you're sitting in an invisible chair. Hold that position. Start with 20 seconds if that's all you can manage. Over time, work up to 60 seconds or more. Rest for a minute or two, then repeat. Aim for 3 to 5 rounds, 3 to 4 days per week. The first time you do it, your legs might shake. That's normal. That's your muscles waking up. With consistency, the strength builds quickly, and so do the benefits. Men who integrate this movement into their weekly routine often report feeling more energetic, more balanced, and more confident. Not just during intimacy, but throughout the day. Their legs become stronger, yes, but so does their circulation, their hormone profile, and their sexual responsiveness. And here's the thing about wall squats. They're safe, low impact, and scalable. No need for heavy weights or complex movements. Whether you're 60, 70, or beyond, you can modify the intensity to fit your level. And if you're just getting started on your fitness journey, that's perfectly fine. All that matters is that you're moving, pushing blood through the lower half of your body and creating the internal environment your system needs to perform at its best. Over the years, I've seen this one exercise change lives. Men who were told their only option was medication discovered new vitality through nothing more than a wall and a bit of willpower. It's humbling and powerful to witness. Still, as effective as wall squats are, they address only one part of the equation, the physical. What many men don't realize is that a major block to sexual function doesn't start in the body. It starts in the mind. Anxiety, stress, overthinking, these can quietly sabotage arousal, even when everything else is working just fine. That's why the next technique is perhaps the most overlooked and the most essential. It requires no movement, no equipment, and no time. Yet, it has the power to reset the nervous system, lower stress hormones, and unlock the natural rhythm of desire. Once again, we're going to want to hear this one. Let's move on. 5. Deep diaphragmatic breathing, stress reduction, and nervous system reset. You can eat right, exercise regularly, and take every supplement on the shelf. But if your nervous system is constantly in fight or flight mode, your body will shut down arousal before it even begins. That's not a theory, that's biology. And for men over 60, the silent killer of sexual performance isn't always physical, it's emotional. Chronic stress, anxiety, and even subtle mental tension can derail desire, weaken erections, and sabotage intimacy. That's why this final technique is perhaps the most underrated of all. Deep, diaphragmatic breathing. It may sound simple, almost too simple, but don't underestimate its power. Your breath is the direct gateway to your nervous system. When you breathe deeply, slowly, and intentionally from the diaphragm, not the chest, you send a powerful signal to your brain that says, I'm safe, I'm calm, it's okay to relax. And that's exactly what your body needs in order to allow blood to flow freely into the penis, to stimulate the right hormones, and to fully experience arousal. In contrast, shallow chest breathing, something many men do without realizing, triggers the opposite response. It tells your brain there's a threat nearby. Cortisol, the stress hormone, rises. Blood flow is redirected away from the reproductive organs. Heart rate goes up, but sexual desire shuts down. It's like trying to light a fire in the middle of a windstorm. No matter how much fuel you throw at it, it won't catch. That's why I've taught deep diaphragmatic breathing to hundreds of my patients over the years, and why I use it myself. It's free, it's immediate, and it works. When practiced consistently, this technique can help reduce blood pressure, regulate heart rate, lower cortisol levels, and create the ideal environment for sexual response. Here's how it works. Sit comfortably in a chair with your feet flat on the ground. Place one hand on your chest and the other on your belly. Inhale slowly through your nose for a count of 4. You should feel your belly rise, not your chest. Hold the breath for 4 seconds, then exhale gently through your mouth for 6 seconds. As you exhale, imagine your body softening, relaxing, letting go of whatever tension you've been holding. Repeat this for 10 minutes a day, ideally in the morning or right before bedtime. At first, your mind may wander. You may feel impatient or even silly. That's normal. But if you stick with it, you'll begin to notice something subtle but powerful. A shift in your baseline. You'll feel calmer, more centered. You'll respond to stress differently. And yes, you'll begin to notice more frequent and natural erections, especially those spontaneous morning ones, which are a key sign of vascular and hormonal health. What's even more encouraging is that deep breathing helps rewire the emotional patterns that often hold men back from connection and closeness. It opens the door to vulnerability, which in turn opens the door to intimacy. Many of my patients have told me that this practice not only improved their erections, but helped them feel more present with their partners, more emotionally available, more like the men they used to be. And perhaps most importantly, it returns power to you. So much of what we face as we age can feel out of our control. But your breath, that's yours. And when you learn to master it, you gain access to a kind of inner control that no medication can match. Now, you've made it through all 5 techniques, from the strength of your pelvic floor to the depth of your breath. Each one plays a different role, but together they form a complete approach to restoring your sexual health naturally, without side effects and without shame. The only thing left to do is to start. So here's what you need to do today. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today. Because the sooner you take action, the sooner your body begins to respond. And in just a moment, I'll walk you through exactly how to get started. From your first breath to your first real breakthrough, stay with me. What you need to do today. By now, you've seen the full picture. You've learned about the 5 most effective natural methods to improve your erections, increase blood flow, boost your sexual confidence, and reconnect with your partner in ways that truly matter. But knowledge alone won't change your life. It's action that makes the difference. So if you've ever looked in the mirror and wondered if you've passed your prime, or if you've quietly feared that you'd lost something essential about being a man, this is your turning point. Right here, right now, because what you do today will set the stage for how you feel tomorrow. Start with just one technique. Don't overwhelm yourself. If Kegel exercises feel like a good entry point, begin there. Sit down, focus on identifying the right muscles, and going through 3 short sets of contractions may only take 5 minutes, but you'll be planting the first seed of change. If stress is what you've been battling most, start with a deep breath. Close the door, silence the noise, and let yourself breathe with attention. These moments are small, but they are powerful. If you're ready for a more physical commitment, add in wall squats to boost testosterone and circulation. You don't need a gym or a trainer, just a wall and your own weight. Do what you can and build from there. Even 20 seconds is progress. And if you feel motivated to go further, look into a quality vacuum device or extender, especially if your challenges are more advanced or have been with you for a while. But no matter where you begin, just begin. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. 5 minutes a day can be the difference between another year of frustration and the beginning of real change. And here's the truth that too many men never hear. Your body still wants to perform. It still wants to respond. You're not broken. You're just out of practice. These tools aren't about becoming someone else. They're about returning to who you were, who you still are, before stress, aging, or illness got in the way. Write it down. Schedule it. Treat it like a doctor's appointment you wouldn't miss. The more structure you give your efforts, the more your brain will take it seriously. And trust me, when your body begins to respond, when you feel that first stronger erection, when your partner looks at you with surprise and connection, you'll know it was worth every moment of effort. You've been through enough years of uncertainty, of silence, of not knowing if things would ever feel normal again. You deserve better. You deserve answers. And now you have them. The science is clear, the tools are within reach, and the power is back in your hands. Not the drug companies, not the ads trying to sell you quick fixes. Yours. So take that first breath. Do that first set. Try that first squat. Let this be the day you took a step back toward vitality, strength, and intimacy, not just for your partner, but for yourself. Because in the final moments of this video, I'm going to share something even more important. Something that pulls everything together, not just with your body, but with your identity as a man. If you've ever felt like age was seeking more than it was giving, you won't want to miss what comes next. Let's finish this strong. Closing thoughts. The strength to begin again. There's a quiet kind of pain that many men carry as they age. It's not the kind that shows up in medical tests or scans. It's the kind that creeps in slowly. The frustration of a fading erection, the distance growing in a relationship, the quiet feeling that something essential is slipping away. And too often, we deal with it silently. We tell ourselves it's just part of getting older. We accept it. We adapt. We avoid. And over time, we begin to believe that it's too late to change. But I want you to hear me now. It's not too late. Not even close. What you've learned here isn't a miracle cure. It's not overnight magic. It's something more real than that. It's a roadmap, a set of tools that you can use starting today to restore not only your sexual function, but your sense of confidence, control, and connection. Because this journey isn't just about blood flow. It's not just about muscle tone or hormone levels. It's about reclaiming the part of yourself that still wants to live fully, love deeply, and show up with strength and pride. Think back on the 5 key lessons we've explored together. You learned how Kegel exercises can rebuild the very foundation of sexual strength by training the hidden muscles that support your erection. You discovered how vacuum therapy can bring immediate blood flow back to where it matters and rehabilitate tissue that's been neglected for too long. You saw how the penile extender, when used safely and consistently, can restore both function and length, giving many men back what they thought they had lost forever. You understood how wall squats, through a simple yet powerful motion, can fire up your body's natural testosterone and open blood vessels that support your entire sexual system. And finally, you were introduced to the most subtle and yet most transformative practice: deep, diaphragmatic breathing, a method to calm the mind, reset your nervous system, and create the inner conditions where intimacy can thrive again. Each one of these methods works in a different way, but they all lead to the same goal: to bring you back into balance, to restore what age, stress, and silence may have worn down. If you're still listening, I know something about you. You haven't given up. You're still in the game. You still believe that something better is possible. And that belief, that's the most powerful tool you have. Because the truth is, getting older doesn't mean becoming less of a man. It means becoming a wiser one. A man who knows that strength is not about pretending nothing has changed, but about having the courage to change what you can. And you can change this. You can feel excitement again. You can feel connection again. You can look at your partner and see not just love, but desire reflected back. You can wake up in the morning and feel proud, not just because of what you've regained physically, but because you took ownership of your health when it mattered most. So let me leave you with this. Start small. Stay consistent. Be patient. This isn't a race, it's a return. A return to yourself. A return to power, to confidence, to joy. You don't need to chase youth. You simply need to reclaim your vitality, right here, right now, in the body you have today. I've seen men in their 60s, 70s, even their 80s turn things around. Not with hope alone, but with action. You're no different. Your story is still being written. And if today becomes the chapter where everything begins to change, then you'll look back weeks or months from now and realize something powerful. You didn't just learn how to fix a problem. You learned how to rebuild a part of yourself that was never truly lost. Now it's your move, and I believe in you. If this message spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video to let us know it helped. Share it with a friend, a brother, or a partner who might need to hear it too. And in the comments below, type, "I'm ready," if you're taking that first step today. Or tell me what part resonated most with you. I read every single one.